Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today, and I'm going to go right to my truth, and I hope that it helps someone. I hope that you get the healing and the closure. This is actually my closure. I felt like I never got justice, so this is why I'm doing this video. I was 15 years old and I went to visit a relative in one of the colder states, and the relative went to get something. She must not have went far because she doesn't drive. In the meanwhile, her husband comes to the house where I was staying, and I had been, let me stop and just tell you, because of the colder climate, I was coming down with the cold or flu, so I really didn't feel quite well. Well, her husband came into the room where I was and fixed me a highball, straight alcohol. He tried to force me to drink it. He's pulling at me. I'm pushing him away. He's trying to make me drink it. I'm thinking to myself, this can't be happening. What is he doing? Me and this relative was very, very close, and he knew that. And why? If he's that kind of person, but why would you pick that relative? Because you know how close we were, which lets you know he didn't care about her feelings, nor mine. Well, getting back to the story, the only thing that saved me from an apparent rape was we both heard, I knew he did because I did, we heard the key in the door and the door opened. He runs out of the room. I run out because I'm going to the restroom. I didn't want to face that relative, because if she would have looked at my face, she would have known something was up. On running to the restroom, things begin to get black, and I'm grabbing for the door because I can't see. I'm still conscious, but everything just went black for, I would say, about 3-4 seconds. When I woke up, I remember she's knocking on the door, and I'm getting up at that moment, and I'm imagining she heard the thump when I fell, and because she's knocking on the door. Open the door. What's the matter? What's the matter? I opened the door and I didn't say anything. I just looked at her, and I went back to the room and laid down. The assumption was, I really do think that she thought because I was coming down with a bad cold or flu that I just blacked out, that I just didn't feel, I felt that bad. But in essence, it was the trauma, because I didn't feel good, but I had felt worse before. I never fainted before that incident or after that incident. So the traumatic experience caused me to, I believe, to black out. Well, that evening we were supposed to go to another relative's house for dinner, and I told her I could go, and so she bundled me up, and I went. The hard part of it all was I was only 15, so although I could drive, I've never driven in the snow, plus I didn't have a driver's license. She could not drive, and the only person in the household that was old enough to drive was the perpetrator. So you can imagine how uncomfortable that was. So I'm just not saying anything, and I'm just quiet throughout the dinner and trying to put up a front. And it jived with me not feeling good. So no questions was asked. Well, what's the matter? assumed I didn't feel good. And so that's the end of that contact. But it changed that person's relationship with me. Especially because I had to make excuses up for not wanting to go back as time went on. Also, it took me years, I want to add, it took me years to tell this person. I was a child then, and I just wasn't equipped to tell that person. I didn't want to hurt her. Plus, a 15-year-old trying to, I was naive. I was sheltered, and I just didn't know how to say it. You have to understand the relationship this person had, me and that person had. She's 10 years older than me, so she was like a mother figure. She was in 8th grade. I was in kindergarten. And she would come down to the kindergarten class and help the teacher, and we would put on music and we would dance, and she's the one that taught me, about music, other than what was out, the R&B, the Temptations, the Miracles, Martha and the Vandellas. I'm telling my age now. However, she was the one who taught me about jazz and show tunes like The King and I, and different types of music besides that. So she was like a mother figure. I went on dates with her. She took me on dates with her, give me some pizza and something to drink, and I was out. So she didn't mind taking me out with her. So when I finally did tell her, because I had been married and I was going through divorce. In fact, I think my divorce was final when I told her, so that was many years afterwards. And I ended up telling her, and it changed our relationship. We tried to connect. She would come out every summer with her kids, and he would be left in the cold state. And that worked fine for him, I suppose, because a relative that lived with them said that he had women at the house. So that worked out fine that she would be gone for the summer. I think in the back of my mind, I would always say, why didn't you tell her sooner? And that happened when I was an adult. I would think that. But I was a child. I just wanted to keep everyone, happy, and I didn't want to hurt anyone. So I'm going to end the story right there. I'm not sure whether I want to do a part 2 of this because I get triggers, of course, talking about it. But I get triggers. Trigger was the Bill Cosby case, and not saying innocence or guilty. It was just a trigger because it was said that he tried to force, or he slipped drinks into women's drinks. So, well, you know the story, and so that was a trigger for me because is trying to incapacitate me, and what, if you're unconscious or close to it, you can't fight back. There is some other things to the story, so I think I will do a part 2. I'm going to think about that because it's very hard to talk about. Although that was years ago, this is my justice, my way of getting justice, because the perpetrator is dead now, and so this would be closure for me. So I'm gonna think about it, but stay tuned. I would like you to make comments, and tell me whether this has happened to you or relatives. Click the like button, and I would also like for you to subscribe and hit the bell so you can get further notifications. I'm sorry. As you can tell, this is still haunts me, and so this is going to be closure. I finally let my truth out. So until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day, and God bless. Thank you very much.